you see that the Democrats are getting these situations, where you look at the polls and like, are you in favor of immigration or not? And like, it just totally collapsed over the last couple of years. Like, well, why did that happen?
That's right.
And I think a big reason for that is that the Democrats, again, they have not set up the kind of counter messaging operation that can test that can contest the basic, the ideological values and questions that are facing society. That you have the right wing going, immigrants bad, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, and Democrats are going like, well, we've improved the asylum process, but we've made it much more efficient, and like that matters. In fact, like Biden,
it's too eggheady. It's too bureaucratic speak. For example, they probably in the face of the tariff talk mentioned economists say that Trump's plan is really bad and ours is really good, which again assumes a certain kind of educated audience that doesn't have rage at the status quo and doesn't trust experts and like hates Fauci maybe. And like, there's a lot of people that they're not impressed by egghead speak, but if you instead say Trump is dangerous because you think tariffs are actually tariffs on China. No, it's tariffs on what you pay. You're going to pay more. You just some real normal, clear communication about just because Trump is goofy and screams about China doesn't mean his ideas are going to be good for you, but like they didn't even attempt that kind of talk, right?
There's no attempt in anything like the way the right wing does, which is just to lay out consistently, regardless of the electoral cycle, to lay out conservative values and ideology all the time. You have the messaging happens during elections, and it is very limited and is very often triangulated. And so they box themselves in on questions like immigration, on questions like trans rights. And so they end up ceding the field on all these questions. And nobody is saying, starting in like, say, 2021, like, listen, this is a problem, but immigrants are people. We need workers in this country. And look at these poor motherfuckers. They're coming out of Venezuela. They're coming out of Honduras. They're coming out of El Salvador, and they just want a place to live. And they're just like you. They're just you and your forebears. All four of Donald Trump's parents were from another country. And all they want is a place to live and to contribute to society. And are you going to kick these people out? Are you going to send them back to be fucking murdered by the El Salvadorian Bitcoin murderers? Like,
exactly. No, and this is the juxtaposition you need. You need to give an alternate vision that's coherent instead of being like, you know what? I was a prosecutor and I'm the one that went after the Mexican gangs or whatever. It's like, no, you can't beat Trump on being more anti-immigrant or like tougher on crime. What are you talking about?
You've seeded the field, and once you've sort of inflamed that sentiment, most of the time, I mean, maybe not all the time, but most of the time, they're just going to go for the high test version of what you're selling. They're like, oh, we're more moderate, xenophobic, anti-immigrant people. Well, like, why not vote for the very more xenophobic candidate? And that's the end of the preview, folks. As usual, we like to mention that this podcast is sponsored by the American Prospect Magazine. So if you want to listen to the whole thing, you can subscribe at $5 a month. If you want that, plus a free subscription to the website, plus the opportunity for a steeply discounted print subscription, you can do that if you so wish at $10 a month. And otherwise, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.